We're surrounded by carnival rides, cows, and corn dogs. That can mean only one thing. We're at the Florida State Fair. Today, we're recording our podcast at the fairgrounds, and that's the perfect place to talk about the district's farms program. Join us as we talk about the program's benefits and talk to a local grower about his experience. So grab your favorite fair food and join the conversation. This is the Water Matters Podcast.
You're watching the Water Matters Podcast, brought to you by the Southwest Florida Water Management District. We answer your most popular questions about the work we do and the services we offer, including new projects, springs protection, water conservation efforts, and more. Learn about the many ways we serve the community and protect your water resources.
Welcome to this special episode of the Water Matters Podcast. We're excited to be recording in the middle of all the action at the Agricultural Hall of Fame here at the State Fair. I'm your host, Michelle Sager, and today we're focusing on agriculture in honor of the State Fair. We're going to talk about the district's programs that helps farmers save water and money. Just like the district, the State Fair has a long history in this community. This event has been going on for more than a century. And one of the key missions of this event is to educate the public about agriculture and its vital role in Florida's economy and our daily lives. I'm happy to welcome Jay Hoker, Water Resources Bureau Chief. Welcome, Jay.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Michelle.
Excited to be here at the State Fair?
Very excited.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming out today. Talk to me a little bit about, first, just explain what you do at the district and what your bureau does.
Of course. So my role is the Water Resources Bureau Chief here at the district, and I have two sections that work with my group primarily, and that includes our farms program, which we're going to talk a little bit more about here today. It also includes our water supply section, which works predominantly with the public supply sector, which, for those that don't know what that means, that includes our utilities for local governments, cities, and counties.
So you mentioned farms. Now, I know farms is an acronym. Can you explain what that stands for first?
Yes, we all love our acronyms here at our organization, but it stands for Facilitating Agricultural Resource Management Systems.
Okay, so we know what farms stands for. Can you explain a little bit about the farms program?
Sure. So it's an agricultural cost share program, meaning that we work with growers to incentivize implementation of projects. And we really have two main project types that we work on. We have alternative water supply projects, which could be something called tailwater recovery, where we're capturing excess water from a grower's operations and reusing that. We also look to implement conservation projects. So that could be a soil moisture sensor or a weather station, all with the goal of helping to improve the overall efficiency of an irrigation system.
And I understand that you encourage best management practices, which are known as BMPs, again, another acronym. Can you explain what you mean by that?
Sure, and BMPs aren't something that are just synonymous with agriculture. It's something you probably see in all industries, and it's as inherent as it sounds. It's a best management practice for an operation. The Florida Department of Agricultural and Community Services, FDACS, helps to establish these BMPs by crop type. So a strawberry operation could have specific BMPs for that. So they could be trying to reduce run time so that that plant is getting just what it needs.
Can you give me examples of some of the BMPs we might see through this program?
Sure, and I know I just mentioned with strawberry operations, but for example, if you're a sod farm and you have access, say, to canals on site, you can leverage those canals as an alternative source for irrigation. And again, we call those tailwater recovery projects, and those can also be considered a BMP.
So what is the benefit of a program like this?
The beauty of the farms program is that it's mutually beneficial to both the district and the grower. For the district, we're getting that benefit to the resource, that water savings, that reduction of that traditional groundwater use. And for the grower, they're also getting that benefit as well as being a good steward of the resource. But it's also benefiting them financially too. Reduction in fuel costs, diesel costs, reduction in fertilizer application can all be a benefit to the grower as well.
Saving water and saving money is important to a farmer.
Exactly.
How many projects has the farms program funded so far since its implementation?
So since 2003, I think we're up to 265 projects.
Wow, that many. Are they all across the area, or are they in a specific area of our district?
So currently they are all across our district, but the
Wow.
program started out much smaller in our southern region, and slowly but surely it's been applied widely to other areas that have experienced resource impacts and constraints.
Well, that's great that we're seeing other farmers join in and really take advantage of this program because it's helping the areas, in all over the district.
Exactly. And it might have started as a focus on reducing groundwater draws and water savings, but we've also expanded it to have a water quality component. So we are incentivizing water quality related projects as well.
You mentioned water savings. How much water has been offset from the farms program?
To date, it's roughly 30 million gallons per day.
Wow, that's really great.
Yeah, and to put it in perspective, that's over 12 billion gallons a year on an annual basis.
That's terrific. So before I let you go today, Jay, I did want to talk to you about the other section that you oversee because they do really important work too. Can you talk a little bit about the water supply section and some of the work that they do?
Of course. And as I mentioned before, our water supply section deals predominantly with public supply utilities, and those are those local governments, the counties and cities, and their utilities that ultimately provide potable supplies to their end users. And the water supply section has two primary functions. We have our staff that deal with regional water supply planning, which is a statutory obligation for the district. And we look out 20 years and project demands out 20 years. And at what point in time will those traditional supplies not be adequate enough to address future growth? And we do this on a 5-year basis. And the other part of our section are our project staff. And we also have a cost share program within the water supply section. And with that program, we are incentivizing very robust, large regional projects with our partners across the district to the tune of almost $600 million over the next 6 to 8 years.
It's really interesting that you guys are planning that far out, and that's a really important aspect to remember for people. Talk to me why it's important to plan 20 years out our water supply plan.
Certainly, and I think we can learn from the past as well. And within our 4 regions, 3 of which are covered by a water use cautionary. And that's what really triggers the statutory requirement to have a regional water supply plan. But we take a proactive approach within our district, and we also do a regional water supply plan in our northern region so that we're getting ahead of that. We're understanding where the growth patterns are, and we're looking to develop projects to address that growth sustainably.
That's great news. We've talked about agriculture, we've talked about public supply. Now let's talk about the average resident. Why should they care about water conservation?
Well, I think as stewards of our natural resources, we have to be mindful of our own consumption. This resource is limited, so conservation always needs to come first and foremost when we think about our everyday actions.
And there are so many ways for people to save water right at their home. We should tell our audience that you can go to watermatters.org/water101 and you are going to find all kinds of tips and videos there on things like how to check your irrigation, look for a leak, and other water conservation tips. So go to the website and get all kinds of information on water conservation. Thank you, Jay, for joining us today. This has been so much great information you provided.
It was really a pleasure.
Next up, let me introduce Matt Vincent. He's a project manager in the Farms program and helps participants work through the process. Welcome to the podcast, Matt.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Matt, tell me a little bit about your job and what you do in the Farms program.
All right, so I am one of 5 project managers with our Farms program. We cover the entire district, which is 16 counties, and my job is to, as the name says, acronyms, facilitating agricultural resource management systems. I work with growers and help them navigate cost share and regulatory, and basically my goal is to get best management practices in the ground and make the growers as efficient as possible with their water.
So you kind of help walk them through the process, correct?
That is correct. Yep.
So if I'm a farmer and I'm interested in participating, take me through the steps of what I need to do.
Okay, so we have 2 cost share programs, but to participate in our programs, you need to be within the Southwest Florida Water Management District, so one of our 16 counties.
Okay.
You need to be bona fide agriculture and have a water use permit issued by the district. So if you are in our district, you have a water use permit, and you have some ideas on how to become more efficient, all you have to do is reach out to somebody on the Farms team. You can call me directly, and we'll get someone out there to talk to you about your ideas on what you can do to become more efficient with your water resources.
So it's that easy. You just, if you have an idea and you meet those criteria, you can contact the district.
Yes, reach out to any of the project managers. You can call me directly, and we'll have somebody come out and talk to you about your ideas and see what program they fit into, see what we can do, get you the best cost share available to get your best management practices in the ground to be more efficient with the water resource.
So, as somebody who's actually out there on the farms talking with the farmers, what are the farmers' reactions when they find out that it is a fairly easy program? I imagine they're pretty happy when they see the end results.
Yeah, it's been good. I like working with farmers. There is a bit of a stigma because we're a regulatory agency, but getting out there and working with them, once you convince them that we're not a bad guy, we're there to help. We want you to be more efficient with your water. We try to make the process as easy as possible. We can network with other agencies. Once you get that relationship, we have a lot of repeat customers.
Absolutely. And it's important to drive home the point that we want them to succeed. We want them to, because they're going to save water, they're going to save money. It's going to be good for everybody.
Correct. Yep. Saves water, saves them diesels, and everything else they have to spray on their crop or on their ground.
Now, I know there's also something called the Mini Farms program. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Mini Farms is our complementary program to our Larger Farms program. The Larger Farms program has a larger budget for bigger projects. Jay talked a lot about those earlier. So Mini Farms is for smaller projects. So this could be things like automating a pump station, automating valves, weather stations, soil moisture probes, telemetry, a fertigation system. So lower cost projects. With the Mini Farms program, it's a faster program. We can do approvals usually in a week. And the reimbursement amount is 75% of your total project cost up to $10,000. I can do 2 projects per year for a 5 lifetime total per farm location.
Now, it's great because I think sometimes farmers may think, well, I'm not one of these big farms. So this program really isn't going to apply to me. But there is something for the smaller farmer.
Yeah, it's great. Last year we did over 60 projects.
Wow.
We're getting out there, meeting the growers, getting these best management practices in the ground, and we'll do sites. There is no minimum. I've done 2-acre farms and 300-acre farms through Mini Farms. It's just getting the water resources, best management practices out there.
That's terrific. That's been a lot of great information. Thank you so much, Matt, for joining us today. If you want more information about the Farms program, how you can apply, how you can meet Matt, visit watermatters.org/farms. Our next guest is a farmer who took advantage of the district's Mini Farms program. I'm happy to welcome Clay Keel, president of Keel Farms in Plant City. Thanks for joining us today, Clay.
Thanks for having me.
So I understand you're a Florida native, and your family has been in farming for generations, correct? Many years. How did you get into farming? Is it just always been ingrained in your family? Is it something you were interested in?
Yeah, I was born into it. So my father started our current farm, Keel Farms, over in Plant City in the early 1980s, right around the same time I was born. So I grew up working on the farm, definitely instilled just a love the land, being outside, getting my hands dirty. And we started with flowers and plants, eventually started growing blueberries. Then we started making wine with the blueberries. So we're a winery now, but we still do a lot of farming with both blueberries and strawberries.
What do you enjoy about farming?
Oh man, just now, since we bring so many people out to the farm and get to show them what we do, probably the most fun is showing families, showing young kids, this is where your food comes from. This is what, a chicken looks like and a cow and, in person. You'd be surprised how many kids never get that opportunity.
It is. It's really interesting.
Their faces just light up.
How many never get that experience to go out on a farm? So to have that opportunity is pretty great. So let's talk a little bit about the Farms program and how did you get involved with it?
Yeah, interestingly, I was analyzing a new weather station for the farm. And, because watering, obviously, how much has it rained? What's the soil moisture? When do we need to freeze protect? What's the temperature, humidity, dew point at 10 feet off the ground, at the ground? Like, if you have all this data, it's really helpful for us in what we do. So I was looking at a weather station to be able to install on the farm, and the manufacturer actually told me about, hey, there might be some grants available. And let me check it where you are. And he introduced me to the Farms program. I reached out to Swift Mud, and they were able to help us out with the weather station, and it's been incredible.
And how has that benefited you?
Yeah, great question. Having that information, and it's actually on my phone, which is amazing. But yeah, being able to know exactly what the soil moisture is, it really, you're not overwatering. You're not underwatering. You're able to water exactly what the blueberry plant needs. In the freeze protection instances, where, okay, the temperatures are dropping, it's a critical time for the bush and we have to water to try to protect it. I know exactly when to turn it on because I have that data right from my field. So I'm not turning the water on too early or leaving it on too late and expending more water than I need to.
You have a reputation of embracing new technologies. I know innovation is important to you. Why is innovation and water conservation important for you as a farmer?
Yeah, great question. Farming at a small scale gets more and more challenging every year. And you really have to. You have to evolve. And all the best farmers I know, they are innovative, they are creative, just always trying something. What might make our job a little bit easier? In the strawberry farms, for instance, precise GPS placement of every tractor wheel, makes a big difference on yield, and it allows them to actually make a profit off of their strawberry farm, which is becoming more and more challenging. We have the same cost as everyone else, going up, and to where being a small farm is difficult. And I embrace that, and we take, we're a young, innovative company that really embraces change and what's out there that can help us accomplish our goals.
Now, that's really great, and I think you guys have made some significant impacts in the community. If a farmer's kind of on the edge of should I get involved in this program or not, what advice would you give to them?
At first, it's just a great program. It was, the process was super easy. The staff with Swift Mud were incredibly helpful. I would say it was probably one of the easiest grant processes I've ever been through. We've done a few here and there that, the state helps us with some stuff on the agritourism side, and they're great as well. But this one was just so easy, and the Swift Mud team is just standing by, ready to help you. And if it's something that truly is going to simultaneously help your farm and help our water resources, and they're gonna help you make that happen, I don't know why you wouldn't do it. It's just a great program.
Well, great. Hopefully farmers will hear this and take advantage of the program. Thank you so much for joining us today. I do want to tell our audience, you should follow Keel Farms on Instagram. I follow them on Instagram. You guys do some great behind the scenes footage showing people what it's like on the farm. Yeah. And people probably know you best probably for the winery, but there are a lot of other things happening at your farm, correct?
Yeah, we do. You pick fruit, both strawberries and blueberries all spring. Big events, parties, weddings. We do all of it.
Thank you so much again, Clay. We really appreciate you coming out today.
Thanks for having me.
Enjoy the state fair.
Thank you.
I want to thank all of our guests again, and thank you to the Florida State Fair for having us out here today. It was a tremendous experience being out in the public today. And again, I want to remind everyone, if you want more information on our farms program, visit watermatters.org/farms. And if you want information on water conservation, visit watermatters.org/water101. This is the Water Matters Podcast.